Hey there, YouTube, and welcome back to Millennial Gameplay. Last time on Final Fantasy XII, we delved into the sewers in order to make it to the castle, in order to make it to the vault, in order to steal the goddess's magistite. Well, not that specifically, just something like that, I suppose. Either way, that's what Vaughn chose to steal, and it happened to be what Balthier and Fran wanted to grab as well. So, after a daring escape from the entire Imperial army, including one of its most powerful warships, we made it into the sewers and decided to partner up. This time on Final Fantasy XII, we're going to go back through the sewers and see if we can't come out of this whole thing just a little bit heavier in the pockets with money. Ah, Vaughn, there's something I want to check before we set out. As I thought, you don't know much about gambits yet, do you? Listen carefully. I don't care to repeat myself. For each gambit, you can combine one action with a target for that action. Example, you can arrange that cure be cast on an ally whose HP falls below 50%. Useful, that. Of course, one error of judgment, and you could well find yourself throwing punches at that same ally. If you've a good head on your shoulders, it should come easily enough. I fear more detailed explanations. This is the gambit screen. You can reach it from the party menu. To create a gambit, you need only select an action and a target for that action. Here, let me show you. I'll start by changing action of one of my gambits. I can't skip this, by the way. He does this all on his own. Now, whenever an ally gets hurt, I'll toss a potion his way. Charming, eh? Of course, that's a sure way to go through our stock of potions. So let's adjust the target to make sure things don't get out of hand. Why? Now only ever use potions when an ally's HP drops below 70%. That should be a little bearable. Nothing to it, really. You can set a gambit's action to more or less any ability you have at your disposal. Targets aren't so simple. You'll have to pick up new ones from gambit shops. But that isn't all. You can prioritize your gambits. Allow me. The gambit in the first slot always takes priority. As it stands now, even if an ally's HP starts to fall, should there be foes near, I'll only attack. For which I could rightly be criticized in general. It's better to prioritize healing before attacking. Vitality before violence, if you like. Oh, another thing. You can turn gambits off and on here from the gambit screen as well as from the battle menu. Of course, gambits won't do you much good if they're turned off. Still, discretion is often the better part of valor. If you need to beat a hasty retreat, try turning gambits off first. It's hard to fall back when your allies insist on picking a fight. Well, that's the long and short. I'll set my gambits as they were before we started. Feel free to change them later if you like. We're like to come across new actions and targets, so don't be afraid to experiment with new gambit combinations. But don't put all your faith in any one combination. With each passing day, the world finds new and exciting ways to kill a man. Be flexible. If you find yourself up against beasts that don't take well to fire, create a gambit to cast fire on nearby foes. Likewise, should we face a creature that uses poison, a gambit to cast poisoner or poisoned allies just might come in handy. A bit much to take in. Don't let it worry you. You're in good company. Yes, these sewers are thick with the bones of others who had similar difficulties. And now we can go to the party and gambits part of the party menu. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and change to Balthier. Because, as he said, he is the leading man. So right off the bat, now that we have Balthier and Fran available to us, their essentials consist of a gun and some ammo for that gun. Guns are the weakest, or not the weakest, are the most unique weapon in the game in that they're very, very slow, but no matter who is using a gun, it doesn't care because it's a gun. It doesn't matter how weak you are or how strong you are, how many push-ups or sit-ups you do a day, because it's a gun. Conversely, the other ranged equipment that Fran starts with instead is a bow and some onion arrows. Onion being, I don't know why Final Fantasy's staple for, like, base equipment is just onion. I don't know. But, she starts out with a short bow and onion arrows. By no means am I going to keep those two with that, because it's time to select their classes. For Balthier, I don't know why, I just have a feeling that I want him to use, like, monk equipment. So I'm going to do just that. So let's go ahead and grab a few things, check out his stuff. Very quickly can he get that, like, I could get it right now if I wanted to, but first things first, grab a pole. So many good things. It's hard to choose. Like, I can still get the Fire Spore. But I'll hold off on that for now. Let's see what's down here. Okay, so this seems to be the way of weaponry. Augmentation. This seems to be his equipments and weapon or battle lores, which there are a ton of for Bronk. Like, a lot of. I believe, yeah, see, it has Brawler in here, so if you want to be empty-handed, that's also an option for you if you're a monk. I think it has several Brawler augmentations. Looking at these, though, I think I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Fires of War, like I said I wasn't going to. And I grabbed it with 5 more than I needed to, considering there was a 20 instead of a 25, but no harm, no foul. I did get Libra out of it. And as for Fran, I don't know about you guys, something just turns me on about a bunny chick with a two-handed sword. So that's what we're doing. Two-handed swords, or specifically katanas, this class works on having a lot of swift attacks. And they're generally more powerful than, like, Shikari, which also works for swift attacks. Because it's two-handed. But it also, two-handed weaponry, is like katanas specifically, are elemental. Unlike a regular two-handed sword, katanas are generally elemental. So you got to make sure to have multiple different types of katanas. Wouldn't want to go up against a monster that's heals through darkness while using a katana that has dark effects. So let's go ahead and optimize these two. I guess the short bow is more powerful than the kotetsu. But no harm, no foul. And we can choose gambits. Right off the bat, we gotta do one thing. If you want to make a lot of money in this game, set any one character to steal from the nearest visible foe before doing anything else. And, by the way, just fucking cool. Everything is just coming up for me. Let's check out these dead body stuff.
Insurgents. Most like they thought to take advantage of a lax watch at the palace while the fate's on, to feed the good consul a length of steel for his supper. I should think Vane used to such hospitality. Clever. He used himself as the bait to draw them near, and then sent in the air brigade. A fine bloody banquet. I dare say I've soiled my cuffs. If a dungeon's waiting for us at the end of the night, it had best have a change of wardrobe.
It doesn't, Balthier. Everybody here wears the same clothes. The entire game. Alright, so back to killing rats and such, but now there's multiple of us. Yeah, now, there's one thing. If you set them to only steal from the most, like, any target, they'll keep stealing from it. It doesn't... Ooh! Now, that's a rare one, a Libra gem. It doesn't matter. They, like, you're basically downing yourself for one attacker. However, in these early areas, and in most areas where I'm not going to be worrying about that too much, it's better to have extra loot from stealing. It just is. That said, if you don't want to lose an attacker, you can simply turn that single gambit off, as he showed you in the tutorial. Now, we haven't encountered them yet, but there are certain enemies that, while they don't necessarily only get hit by ranged attacks, they generally only get hit by ranged attacks. And that is flying enemies. And you're thinking, I know what you're thinking is fucking, but Spencer, these bats are clearly flying. What the fuck? And the answer to that is, nah, they're not. They're not flying enemies. They're too small, I guess. I don't fucking know. Anyway, we'll have to deal with that later. That said, since I'm using all the classes, I will have characters available to me by the time we reach flying enemies that will be able to attack them, nonetheless. Although, all things considered, Steelings do have a lot more mobility than most enemies, being that they can fly over gaps and such. So, having the bow and the gun does actually come in handy for this first part if you don't have the ability to reach them with a stick or a sword. How fucking professional do you have to be able to steal the fang from a bat while it's attacking? Like, in spite of that incredible fest of not being able to steal, you know, from the stupid-ass razor fin, Bond's still good at stealing it, I guess. It's the one thing I have him set to do, anyway. So I guess the rats around these parts of the sewers are slightly stronger. Why does a bat have a potion? Weird. And now we see a new type of enemy. Something you would actually expect to see in the sewers. A frog. Okay, a bit bulkier than a normal one. Or I guess a toad? Sorry. Are toads frogs? I can't remember. I'm a bit like, I don't know animals, alright? Although they have horns. Regardless of what they are, they have horns, they're fat. That was a potion. That's a shame. That is a chest that can have the weapon Vaughn upgrades into. I believe it's called the Mage Slayer, or Mage Killer, or something like that. But not something I can use right now, I guess, because I don't have it. Doesn't really matter. You do get upgrades in the near future. But it would be helpful for something coming up, like, in a few moments. Oh, I forgot to mention. Balthier does start out with his essentials, allowing him for steel and first aid. And so does Fran. I don't know if everybody has steel right off the bat or not. But she also starts out with cure and fire. So if you're not, like, if you plan on having her not be magic at all, which you can do, she does still start out with those abilities regardless. Damn, Balthier, fucking calm your tits. We've got all day. Believe it or not, Balthier, we've got some time to kill. Just fucking storming the palace. So one thing I want to mention, I do intend to as lead characters, I intend to switch it up every now and again because I have different, I'm choosing different classes for different characters. I intend to switch it up a little bit so you can see all sorts of different playstyles instead of just one character over. That said, probably gonna frequent Balthier more than anybody else. He's cool. I mean, just look at him. Magnificent. First off, he has brown hair, not blonde hair, like 50%. No. Fucked. I'm a math major. I should know this. 2/3. 66% of the entire party does in the long run. Spoiler alert. 2/3 of the party. Or no. Yeah, 2/3 of the party has blonde hair. I don't consider Fran's blonde. It's white. It's fucking. I had some dumbasses tell me that it was blonde before. I'm like, nah. Ooh, an oaken pole. Is that what I'm already using? Yes, it is. Fantastic. And, wow, that is just fucking perfect. Thank you, game, for graciously providing me with these things that I already own. Big square. Door. Save crystal. I wonder.
Now we have a...
Who would be next?
Close ranks, bring her down.
Jump down! Hurry!
She's not alone.
Our ranks grow by the hour.
And our troubles with them.
Well, that's an interesting situation to be in. And I'm still just gonna let Vaughn steal. There's grab a few potions and shoot, I guess. Imperials generally only give you potions or fucking like useless shit. Or money. Sometimes they do give you money. Also, we are straight up killing these guys. Like, the heroes of our journey have no moral qualms about murder. I guess, you know, there was a war.
You alright?
Thank you.
I'm Vaughn. And this is Balthier, and hey! What's your name?
Amalia.
Amalia, huh? Nice to meet you.
There were others with me. I'm sorry. No.
Huh?
Oh, Now, isn't that impressive?
Don't get any ideas. I said it's mine.
I'm afraid the jury's still out on that one.
You stole that?
Yeah.
Have you finished? When the guards don't report in, they'll come looking for us.
If they aren't already.
You should come with us. Better than being by yourself.
Very well.
What's wrong with her?
You have a lot to learn before we even get started on your thievery.
What's that mean?
You know, we're just like racking up the crimes tonight. Just like breaking and entering, stealing, and now murder. By the end of this, we'll have committed like 3 counts of burglars and larceny. A crime wholly trademarked by Bender Bending Rodriguez and the Rodriguez Crime Concepts Incorporated. Alright, now then.
The situation requires I accept such help as I find, though it be from thieves. I shall accompany you until we find my companions, no longer.
Let's think of her as a guest, then. Unlike Fran or myself, our guest probably won't be taking orders from anyone anytime soon, and she'll leave when she pleases. So we keep to our affairs and she to hers. I doubt we'll find her wanting in valor, being such an upstanding member of the insurgents.
Resistance.
And Amalia joins the party as a guest.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Yeah, she's the first of many. You can't remove them from the party. You can, however, I believe, just change their gambits. Although she only has 2, and they're, I mean, yeah, they're pretty useful as they are. Now, you may be thinking, well, just keep moving in a straight line. There's no need to... okay, these fuckers are going to do it anyway. And suddenly, it's time for dessert. Alright, right off the bat, have 2 people, Balthier and Vaughn, start using steel, and have Fran just cast fire. These guys will go down really quickly. Although, don't, kill them too quickly. As you can see, one is much bigger than the others, but it really doesn't matter. Like, it's just slightly stronger. Oh, no, that's cool. I'm getting pretty damn lucky with these steals lately. Like, getting gems and shit. They can cast Cure. That's interesting. And a Caramel. Okay, no, we good. We've gotten, like, all the things that you can get from these guys. Yep, all the things. By the way, guns do not work well on desserts. Keep that in mind. Whenever choosing Balthier's first class. I seriously didn't know that they could cast Cure. Like, honestly, that's interesting. I knew that they could cast Blind. I would get rid of it with eye drops, but it really doesn't make the fight that much quicker because it takes 2 fire casts for Fran to kill them, and then we're done. Let's see what kind of magic this Ash has. Only Cure. Okay. If you want, you can go and tell or set up a gambit for Fran to attack these things with fire. I'm going to get as many gambit slots as I can, by the way, because setting it up to where a character uses fire attacks on enemies weak to fire is so much more useful than just commanding them to use fire. Like, it'll save a lot of time. Strike poses with me. You guys didn't have to do that. You chose to do that. You could have just kept moving on. Now then, instead of running all the way back to the crystal, I've got 7 things of eye drops and nothing better to use them on. And sure, I could heal up our MP and such, but nah. I'm too lazy for that, people. I've got, like, places to be, sewers to delve through, crimes to commit. You know, not here, but elsewhere. One thing I want to mention, if a higher priority happens, it will stop whatever they do on the queue. However, if they're already attacking a thing that they're supposed to be attacking, then they will stall for about, like, a part of a second, and then they'll continue to steal. Or then they'll continue to attack. It's kind of weird, actually. Also, Vaughn just ripped the eye out of that fucking demon's skull. He's metal as fuck, man. Like, he's been ripping horns off of frogs, fangs out of bats, all of them while they're awake. Now eyes out of demons. And jewels out of... stealing from ghosts. Like, useful. Bet that sound's gonna get annoying, though. You know, the sound of Vaughn using that technique. I may want to go down into settings and just turn down the sound effects a little bit. Just a tad. Not too much, because it would affect all of them. Can't turn the Technic sound off exclusively, unfortunately. Now, I think the only thing they still barred... I remember that couldn't actually change their actions. I don't believe you could in the PS2 version, but I know you can't go to their equip screen to see what they have on them. Although Amalia here doesn't have much on her to begin with, to be honest with you. She has, I believe, what is one of the worst shields in the game, being the Escudo. No, that's just an iron shield. She comes with a different shield later on. I believe it's an iron sword as well, or maybe a broadsword. I can't remember. Her equipment later on is better. Oh, I kind of just spoiled that she shows up again later. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, she's an important character. That's all I gotta say. Shit. Don't judge me. Alright, I won't show it on this guy because there's no point. He's already mostly dead. I was going to show that if you cast Cure on undead enemies, they'll give you shit. Like, or they'll take damage instead of be healed by it. So, apparently, fucking random demons are strong against poles. That's good to know. Oh well. We'll get there someday. that's that done and dusted. Now we can move on. By the way, right here is right next to where we started whenever we wanted to storm the palace. Which is, I think, is kind of cool. Like, you go through two separate parts of the sewers within, like, but you get to see it all, really. Well, sort of. There is obviously more to it. As you can see by the fact that there are steps that we can't go through because of water. If only we could get rid of that pesky water. Anyhow, after finally making it through the sewers, selecting some weaponry for Balthier and Fran, and just about generally kicking the ass of everything we encountered, and committing way more crimes than was necessary for us to get out of these sewers, I'd say it's time to call it quits. I'll catch you guys next time.